Imagine waking up in an unfamiliar place. You have no idea how you got there, but you realize one thing. Everything you have, your freedom, your dignity, even your life, is now in the hands of someone watching, someone who writes the rules of a game you never chose to play. That's the premise of Squid Game. But what if I told you you're already in that game, and in real life, the games are invisible, but the consequences are just as deadly? Don't worry, I'll show you how to escape this game and win. But first, follow me so you don't miss the next videos, and after this, go watch the other ones. The name of the game? The system. Scarcity. Real-life conditioning. While you run after bills, social validation, and fleeting pleasures that vanish in seconds, there is a system watching, manipulating, betting on your distraction, on your rush, on your lack of clarity. Have you ever stopped to ask who wrote the rules of your daily life? Who said you have to wake up already anxious, live tired, survive instead of build? In Squid Game, the players were handpicked, in debt, desperate, vulnerable. In real life, the process is similar, but the arena has no masked guards or dramatic gunshots. It has empty routines, endless notifications, silent comparisons, and a soul that drains a little more each day. You're already in the game when you choose distraction over direction, when you trade vision for reaction, when you accept competing for crumbs instead of building a legacy with purpose. But here's the truth. Most people don't even know they're playing, and that's why they lose. Today, you'll see the game. You'll understand how the system was designed to keep you blind, tired, and compliant. And more importantly, you'll discover how to escape it. This video is not entertainment. It's a calling, an awakening, a rupture, because while the world runs like cattle in a maze, you'll learn to rise above it, to choose your own moves, to rewrite your rules, and maybe, for the first time, take control of your own game. In the world of Squid Game, each challenge seems childish at first, but behind every simple game hides a brutal truth. Make a mistake, and you die. Hesitate, and you lose. Trust too much, and you get betrayed. Now look around you. The real world doesn't have giant dolls or dramatic red jumpsuits, but the games are just as cruel. This is called the survival system, and it runs silently in every part of your life. It starts in childhood. You're taught to get good grades to be accepted, then to get a diploma to be somebody, then a stable job, then to climb the ladder, then to prove on social media that you're winning. The problem? The ruler was never yours. The game was never yours. The standards were never chosen by you. You were trained to compete, but not to create, to obey, but not to think. Squid Game shows people willing to do anything for money. In real life, maybe you're not risking your life in one instant, but maybe you're dying slowly, trading your days for salaries that barely sustain your soul. And why does this happen? Because the system runs on scarcity, scarcity of time, scarcity of opportunities, scarcity of energy, scarcity of purpose. It makes you believe there's only room for a few, that you need to run faster, show more, consume more. And just like in the show, the more you play by their rules, the more you lose touch with who you really are. Every player in Squid Game had one thing in common. They all chose to go back into the game, knowing the risks. Why? Because to them, life outside the game was even more suffocating. That's the cruelest part of our reality. When life becomes so empty, so automatic, so meaningless, that even a deadly game feels more alive than the boredom of conformity. That's the symptom of a conditioned mind. One that's lost the ability to imagine an alternative path, that's been trained to obey and fear freedom. Have you ever asked yourself why people stick to routines that clearly destroy them? Because deep down, there's a silent fear of choosing your own path. Because if you fail at your own game, there's no one left to blame. That's why it feels safer to stay in the loop, to follow invisible rules, to pretend everything's fine. But is everything fine? Do you feel your life is expanding or just repeating? That's the question the system never wants you to ask. Because a mind that questions is a mind that awakens. And a mind that awakens stops playing. Why do you keep playing a game that drains you, exhausts you, and traps you? The answer lies at the core of human psychology, conditioning plus reward. Squid Game reveals this brilliantly. Players who are traumatized, in debt, emotionally broken, still choose to return to the game. Why? Because the system understood one thing. If you give a small chance of reward, even if it's unlikely, the human brain switches to survival mode and clings to any scrap of hope. It's the same mechanism behind refreshing your feed for something new, or compulsively checking your email, or staying in a job that drains your soul because at least it pays the bills. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's the exact principle used in casinos. The machine doesn't pay every time, but it pays sometimes, and that's enough to keep you addicted. Now understand this. The modern system, a financial, educational, digital, and runs on the same pattern. You study for 20 years, earn a diploma, enter the work routine, and live your life waiting for that big reward that never really comes. You trade your days for promises of status, of comfort, of recognition, but the reward is never guaranteed, and that keeps you even more trapped. Carol Dweck, author of Mindset, explained that the human being can operate from two modes: fixed mindset or growth mindset. The fixed mindset believes the game has already been defined, that the rules are unchangeable, that your only job is to obey and hope. The growth mindset understands if the game is unfair, you can leave it or build a new one. Napoleon Hill said, everything begins with thought, and thought is free. Even in a world of control, as long as you think like a player, you'll be manipulated by rules written by others. But the moment you think like a creator, the rules start to bend. That's the key. The system wants you to forget you have a choice, wants you to believe you're trapped. But the truth is, you're not trapped. You're asleep. And waking up is the first step to winning this invisible game. Now that you can see the game, it's time to learn how to play with awareness, or better yet, to exit the invisible game and build your own. Here are 3 practical tools to regain control of your mind, emotions, and strategy. 1. Detox from easy rewards. Your brain has been trained to seek constant stimulation, likes, notifications, instant responses, quick hits of dopamine. All of this creates addiction and kills your ability to hold deep focus. Challenge yourself for 72 hours. No social media, no short videos, no multitasking. Use that time to write, walk, organize your space, or read a physical book. At first, your body will resist, but soon you'll feel it. Clarity begins to return. Your mind slows down, and the silence becomes creative. This is the beginning of reconnecting with presence. 2. Build a long-term game. In Squid Game, everyone plays for something immediate. In real life, that's what traps you in mediocrity. You need to create a game where victory takes years, but every step makes you stronger. Choose a project, something that demands time, learning, repetition. It could be a business, a book, a physical or financial transformation. And here's the key. Stop chasing reward. Chase progress. Winners in the real game are not the fastest. They're the ones who can spend years building, without applause, without shortcuts, without permission. 3, rewrite the rules of your identity. Every player in Squid Game carried a personal story, but only those who changed their inner narrative could move forward. Write this down right now. I am no longer controlled by easy rewards. I am the author of my reality, and I am building a life of intention, discipline, and vision. Say it out loud every day until your mind accepts it as truth. The most powerful practice is not external, it's internal reprogramming, because the system only controls those who forget who they are. These 3 tools are not theory, they are weapons, tools for liberation. You don't have to play someone else's game anymore. From now on, you play your own. You've started to see the game, you've started to leave it, but now comes the hardest part. Not going back, because the system will try to pull you in again, with notifications, with fear, with comparisons, with that old feeling of just one more time. This is where mental shielding begins, and it starts with your environment. You need to build an invisible fortress, a space that reminds you every day that you're living by choice, not by impulse. Eliminate what distracts you, organize what strengthens you, and most importantly, surround yourself with people who are also waking up. Alone, you can resist for a while, but surrounded, you evolve with more power. The second layer of shielding is emotional awareness. Every time you feel anxiety, rush, or comparison creeping in, remember, that's the system trying to pull you back. Breathe, write it down, observe the emotion. Naming it is the first step to disarming it. You are not your fear. You are not your anxiety. You are the observer. You are the strategist. And the third shield is daily commitment. Every morning declare, today I choose focus. Today I choose awareness. Today I take one step in my own game. These words aren't magic. They're reminders. They anchor your identity to who you're becoming, because in the end, you don't beat the system all at once. You beat it with every choice, every refusal, every decision to stay awake while the rest of the world sleeps. You've seen the game. You've felt the impact, and now the key is in your hands. The decision no longer belongs to the system. It belongs to you. You can keep playing, following the invisible rules that keep you trapped, or you can flip the board and become the creator of your own path. Squid Game is a series, but for many it's reality. But now you're no longer just a player. You are the strategist, the architect, the creator. The invisible game is still out there, but in here you are awake. And once a mind wakes up, it never again fits into a system that kept it small. Now it's your move. Follow the practices, reinforce your identity, share this message. And if you found value in this content, follow me to keep evolving. We're building something much bigger than just videos. We're shaping a new mindset, a silent army of people who've chosen to leave scarcity and step into intention. And if you're ready for the next level, I invite you to watch 2 videos that will strengthen you even more. 5 success habits that created millionaires for generations. There's a silent habit that quietly destroys the success of millions. Watch, share, reinforce, because the next step is yours. And remember, from this moment on, you no longer play someone else's game. You create your own.